my God.
Right now on the National Weather Desk, more severe weather slams huge portions of the country. Heavy winds, tornadoes, hail, so much more, and the threat may not be over. We'll show you the areas hardest hit.
I can tell you that we're going to be here for the next days. Yeah, we're hoping that we have the fire at least slowed down in the next few hours. I'm not going to say we have it contained. We're just trying to, at this point, we're just trying to slow it down in the winds.
And wildfire season is starting early. We'll head to Oklahoma, where fires are burning through hundreds of acres of land. The battle to get it under control.
With a drought here that wasn't the greatest, we would have depended on it pretty heavily, and we'll just have to focus our attentions on other fisheries.
And called off, California canceling a salmon fishing season. So what does that mean for local fishermen? We're going to find out.
But what is a snow squall in comparison to regular lake effect snow or a snowstorm?
And you don't want to miss this, our weather lesson of the day explaining right there what a snow squall is.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I am Angela Brown. Another round of severe weather for several parts of the country. Yesterday, tornadoes and baseball-sized hail hit the Midwest, and millions of Americans remain under severe weather threats this morning as well. This was a scene yesterday in Iowa where it's now confirmed that 2 tornadoes touched down Tuesday night. Look at this. This is just days after severe weather led to at least 9 tornadoes.
No power. Oh my God.
Iowa getting hit with tornadoes, but also Illinois, where at least one confirmed tornado touchdown last night. Zach Richardson is in Table Grove with a look at the damage.
Right now, I'm here in Table Grove, Illinois, where we did have confirmation of a tornado that did touch down, and it did make its way through and impact a small community. I tell you, I got to town and all power is out. You can see people in the community walking around with flashlights, phone lights, floodlights, anything they can to see to walk around. I've walked around and seen rescue crews out here. We have multiple trees down. I talked to the fire department, and they did say there are some power lines down, so they are trying to get that cleaned up and protect people. Those are dangerously low to the road, I was told, and so they have blocked off some roads. I did walk around, and I have seen multiple trees down. Some trees have hit houses. There have been a few small damages to some houses, but I've been told that there have been no reported injuries at this time. I talked to some of the community, and they have told me that this tornado that hit is nothing that this community has seen before, but this community has come together, and they said this is the fastest they've seen a community come together to help each other all out at once. We have more updates on this tornado and the damage, and as we've talked to a few community members, but for now, I'm Zach Richardson. Back to you.
Heavy winds, hail, and tornadoes, not the only weather issue on Tuesday, but also wildfires. Crews battled wildfires in Weatherford, Oklahoma, around 70 miles west of Oklahoma City. A downed power line may have sparked the fire. So far, no reports of injuries or damages. The Oklahoma Forestry Service estimates that over 1,500 acres have been burned so far. And it wasn't just wildfires, but snow creating a headache right here for folks in the Dakotas. You can see here a semi-truck flipped over on snow-covered roads. More than 20 inches of snow is forecast for large portions of the region, with much of the area under a blizzard warning until Thursday morning. The severe weather affecting the Midwest and Deep South may not even be over. A long line of strong to severe thunderstorms are stretching from Chicago to Dallas, with multiple warnings in effect. Severe thunderstorm watches and even tornado watches are in effect through midday. And looking further into the rest of the day, more severe weather is predicted eastern into the Ohio and Tennessee Valley. Some areas are under an enhanced risk of severe weather. And now to Utah, where round 3 of a snowstorm moved into the area last night, but early Tuesday, heavy snow made the morning commute dangerous and also frustrating. Lincoln Graves has more.
Slide-offs and frayed nerves thanks to heavy snowfall.
I was surprised to see like a foot in my front yard.
Nick Lucero made it safely to work after navigating slippery roadways.
I mean, the slush was pretty solid.
Elsewhere, other drivers weren't so lucky. The Utah Highway Patrol documented dozens and dozens of incidents. In some places, freeways were packed with snow.
What do you guys say to
any criticism that comes your way. Hey, this was a bad commute. Where were you guys?
Yeah, well, the plows were definitely out there. I pulled up the traffic app at one point, and we had hundreds of plows that were out there.
John Gleason is a spokesperson for UDOT. He says plow crews were out in force, but at some point, even they aren't a match for snow.
About an inch or more an hour. That's where the plows will have to go back and forth, and it really kind of builds up very quickly.
Nick Lucero doesn't feel like a lack of plows or lack of attention is the problem in situations like this.
The roads are always clear when I need them to be clear.
He believes Utah has too many drivers inexperienced in the snow.
The winter has been, it's been more of a challenge, you know what I mean? We have a lot of new people in Utah. A lot of these people aren't familiar with Utah roads or the weather itself.
In North Carolina, the State Forest Service is responding to nearly 100 wildfires across western North Carolina this past weekend. High winds, of course, making it difficult to kind of put out those flames. More than 30 of those were in the Asheville area. The fire was contained by Sunday morning, but Saturday was extremely busy and tense for some homeowners. Andrew James talked to a couple who saw the flames creeping dangerously close to their home.
The smell of smoke still lingers along Lori Lane after the Spivey Mountain fire burned 75 acres Saturday.
This is where the fire started, right here.
David and Krista Holtz were home when the fire started. They say a tree was blown down across a power line, sparking the flames.
By the time the fire department got here, it had already expanded to 1.5 acres. And then by another hour, it went to 20 acres.
They watched as high winds pushed the fire all around these homes. You can see the charred ground showing the widespread area and just how close it came to the structures.
It went uphill, then came back down, then moved over, and it was very erratic.
Before they were eventually told to evacuate. This fire was one of more than 90 wildfires in western North Carolina, making for an extremely busy Saturday for the North Carolina Forest Service.
The number of new fires in one day, in one 24-hour period is pretty unusual.
Madison County Ranger Bo Dossett tells me because of that unusual number of fires, they called in additional resources from the U.S. Forest Service and extra crews from eastern North Carolina to assist with their response alongside local fire departments.
Pothole formation and weather are connected, and for most drivers, they are a big annoyance. A Hopewell, Virginia man was so fed up with a pothole that was never fixed that he took matters into his own hands. When Colville has this amusing story.
It was maybe about that deep. I mean, if you hit it at a good speed, it would mess your car up.
At the intersection of South 19th Avenue and Richmond Street in Hopewell. How bad was the pothole?
I mean, it was big enough to plant a tree in it.
And that's exactly what happened.
When I was leaving to go back to work, I hit the hole.
After more than a year of complaining about the pothole to City Hall, Josh Anderson was fed up.
Backed up, filled the back of the truck with dirt, dumped it in there, stuck the plant in there.
But before driving away,
took a couple pictures and posted it on Hopewell's issues page.
Within minutes,
I thought it was cute, funny.
The like button and views were adding up. What did you think when you saw the tree?
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. It was, I don't know, a bunch of people making light of it. It was fun.
TikTok views soon topped 2 million, but the first tree didn't last long, removed by city workers.
I come back home from work and the tree was gone. So I pulled up another tree and I planted another one, put some lights on it.
And I thought it was Christmas in April.
As many times as I went and asked to get it done and nothing's been done about it. And as soon as I make a TikTok and put it on their webpage with a tree in it, within 24 hours, they had a crew out here fixing it.
I think it's a shame it took them a day to fix something that had been there for a long time.
Many now seeing the success of planting a tree in a pothole.
I think we might see more trees planted around Hopewell out in the streets.
Great story. And take a look at this. This was hail that fell yesterday in Iowa. As the storm rolled through, large hail reports started pouring in from Cedar Rapids and the Davenport area. Most of the hailstones were as big, look at this, as ping pong balls, and some were 2.5 to 3 inches wide, the same size, though, as a tennis or even a baseball. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll talk with the fishermen in California about the decision to cancel the salmon fishing season and a look at how some are gearing up for the coming turkey hunting season. That's next.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with Look at the Northeast. Check out these temperatures in the Northeast today. They're going to range from 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s and 70s. There's a front playing games with us. Some areas will get some sun, especially back into New York. Our greatest chance for thunderstorms will be western New York this afternoon and evening. That's about 7 p.m. There's freezing rain occurring for parts of northern New England. Now, southern New England should get into some of these showers and thunderstorms tonight and into the daylight hours on Thursday.
I'm meteorologist Jonathan Myers, and here's a look at the mid-Atlantic region, starting off with generally mild temperatures, some 60s, some 70s through the morning. Look at that, lunchtime and beyond, low to mid-80s under partial sunshine, a real touch of summertime. And in fact, a touch of summertime with some showers and thunderstorms coming on Thursday as our next weather maker moves in. Dry for the day today, but things get active by Thursday afternoon, and there could even be a risk of severe weather by then. We're tracking it. That's the scene here.
I'm meteorologist Vitas Reed. Here's a look at your southeast forecast highs. It looks like hot temperatures over the southeast as we're seeing temperatures in the mid-upper 80s and even 90s. Looking at 93 in Tampa, 89 Jacksonville, 88 in Atlanta, Nashville about 82 degrees. Expecting to see some strong weather moving through the area as we go through the late afternoon. It looks like we'll continue to see some showers and thunderstorms popping up across the area, especially up around parts of Tennessee and up into Indiana.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Severe storms pummeled parts of Iowa Tuesday evening, but these hailstones fell during the morning hours and didn't pack any tornado threat. That arrived later Tuesday. This pooch enjoyed the morning hail from the great indoors. And in Amarillo, Texas, brutal winds kicked up dust, squashing visibility, making travel treacherous, and spiking the risk of wildfires.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
The National Hurricane Center just released the final report on Hurricane Ian, and it turns out Ian was the most expensive hurricane to ever hit Florida, and the third most expensive in the U.S. Meteorologist Alan Sills is going through that report.
The National Hurricane Center released the final report on Hurricane Ian. It struck the west coast of Florida last year as a Category 4. It actually was a Category 5 while it was in the Gulf and lost a little strength. Nonetheless, storm surge of up to 15 feet. Rainfall is of up to 20 inches in central Florida. Tornadoes in South Florida, and unfortunately a large loss of life. It was the most expensive hurricane to strike the state of Florida, but it was the third most expensive to strike the United States. Compare all of these storms. The dollar amounts are adjusted using the 2022 Consumer Price Index. Ian, $113 billion. Hurricane Harvey in Texas, $151 billion. And Hurricane Katrina, $190 billion. Notice that the fatalities don't match the dollar amount, and that's because each storm hits a different population density. And a storm, for example, like Maria, 3,000 lives lost. Most of them were in Puerto Rico.
The report also gave details about Gulf Coast hurricanes. If you would like to check out the report, find out more, just head over to Facebook and search the National Weather Desk, where we posted Alan's full video. California salmon anglers will be forced to consider maybe other ways to make money this year. The Pacific Fishery Management Council plans to cancel this year's salmon season. This is the second blow to the North Coast fishing industry, as many fishermen are still recovering from a limited crab season. Sophia Lincoln is in Redding, California with the details.
Humboldt fisherman Jake McMaster has had a difficult past few months after a short and unlucrative crab season, and now the recent news that salmon season will be canceled has him in troubled waters once again.
With a crab year that wasn't the greatest, we would have depended on it pretty heavily, and we'll just have to focus our attentions on other fisheries.
The decision to cancel salmon season comes from the Pacific Fishery Management Council based on record low numbers of salmon that returned to California's rivers after last season. According to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, the 2023 projection for Sacramento River Fall Chinook is the lowest one since 2008 when the assessment began. And the Klamath River's projection is the second lowest since its assessment began in 1997.
There wasn't going to be enough fish to return to the river, so there wasn't going to be a season.
Now, McMaster and other fishermen across the state will have to consider other ways to compensate for the lack of salmon stocks this year.
So you're going to have to find something else to do, whether that's black cod or albacore. There's only a couple things you can go do that are, quote unquote, open access that you don't need a permit for.
And the increased fishing of other species could lead to issues of its own.
It's just kind of a trickle-down effect and can make for some very crowded oceans and a lot of boats on the water targeting one thing.
But that's a bridge McMaster will have to face when he gets to it. And in the meantime, he has bigger fish to fry.
For guys that own their boats, it's, you don't really have a choice besides go fishing or go broke.
And according to researchers, a large reason for the decline in California salmon is the extended heat and drought, as well as an increase in global temperatures. In Wisconsin, turkey season is about to get underway. Although there's still snow on the ground, some young people are already out preparing for the hunting season ahead. Eric Peterson is in Green Bay with a look at what turkey hunting school is all about.
On a snowy Saturday morning, this group of turkey hunters is heading out. From choosing the location to setting up the blind, volunteer Gary Lemon says the exercise truly is a teaching experience.
We get kids and, even grown-ups too, if they've never been out turkey hunting, and we take them out turkey hunting for the first time.
One of those kids is 11-year-old Braden Flagg.
I'm really excited for today. It's my first time going turkey hunting.
The field work follows 4 hours in the classroom. Department of Natural Resources wardens covered regulations and safety at the Lone Oak Gun Club near Gillett earlier in the week.
The DNR gives us the permits to hunt, so it doesn't cost the hunter nothing to go out.
Some of the young hunters found success.
Like 3 jakes come by, and then we had a perfect shot, so then it happened. I was so excited.
Back in the blind, Braden Flagg is practicing his turkey call. He says he's already hooked.
I like doing it because I spend time with my family, my grandpa, and honestly, it's fun for me. It's my favorite thing to do on it.
Gary Lemon says some of these students of today could be the hunters of tomorrow.
I love doing it. I love getting kids involved with hunting and stuff.
And the official start to wild turkey season in Wisconsin is April 15th. Time for today's weather lesson as parts of the country saw some snow overnight. Some of you may have heard the term snow squall, but what does it mean and how is it different from a snowstorm or lake effect snow? Meteorologist Violet Skybor is standing by in Syracuse, New York with the answer.
Well, let's get into it. So snow squalls are usually onsetting very quickly. Once they move in, we can go from sunny skies to a wall of some heavy snow and a burst of some strong winds. And those strong winds could lead to blowing snow and near whiteout conditions as this rolls through. Not only that, but rapidly deteriorating road conditions. So it'll be hard to see the roads and hard to see in front of you as well. Plus, the strong winds will tug at your car. And these usually only last a very short duration, less than 2 hours, sometimes as much as 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how quickly that line of snow moves through the area. So why do we have a warning for this? Well, it's particularly focused on a small area as that line of heavy snow rolls through. So instead of a county-wide warning, we see a polygon warning. What we mean by that is similar to a severe thunderstorm warning, how it's over a very particular area. And they issue them because they try to save lives. The possible impacts from these snow squalls could lead to high-speed accidents and pileups with injuries and fatalities sometimes associated with these type of events. So definitely take them seriously. And here's what you should do. Stay off the roads in the area under the warning. And if you are driving when the warning is issued, put on your hazards and make sure to pull over.
Time now to head to the skies, and today we're over the Utah mountains.
Well, a very good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Snow's finally starting to move out of the northern part of the plains there, but we've got the potential for some strong to severe storms across the Ohio Valley and the lower Great Lakes for later today. That moves its way even farther to the east in Kentucky and Ohio tomorrow, and the rest of the Midwest, pretty quiet. A little cooler for your Thursday, but we get into more sunshine and temperatures warming up a little bit more heading into your Friday.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. We're starting off a little chilly this morning. 30s and 40s to the north, 70s on down toward the south. Cold front is now pushing into Louisiana and causing some showers and thunderstorms from there along the Texas coast. All during the day today, we'll be watching windy and much drier conditions push in throughout most of the region. Temperatures will be cool up to the north, much warmer on down to the south. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia, and that's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there, everybody, and a good Wednesday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Still trying to thaw out west here. We're running on the cold side over the Intermountain area, including in Jackson Hole, a high of not even freezing today near Yellowstone. Thawing out into the low 50s, doing a little bit better in Seattle and Portland, and mid-60s from LA to San Diego. Current weather maker, a nice ridge of high pressure keeping us dry for now in Nevada, but the rain back in the northwest tonight. And that's the scene from here.
Watching the National Weather Desk.
But what flowers are you the most excited about, and do you know when they will bloom? Here's meteorologist Christina Ernie with some info about when you can expect to see some of your favorites make an appearance.
Spring blooms are beginning to pop their way up, so when will you get to see your favorite flowers come up? We're already starting to see our daffodils, which are really hardy. That's why they come up so early in the season. They can withstand big temperature swings and, yeah, even some snow. Same with crocus flowers, plus they only open up when there's sun. The Spanish bluebell and the grape hyacinth that you can see here, and everybody's favorite, the tulips, they're all beginning to break through now all the way through the next 3 to 4 weeks. This is actually why tulip festivals are usually in April. We still have until about May until we start to see those daylilies, bleeding hearts of any color, pretty peonies, and hosta plants, LOL, dog. And even later, more like Memorial Day, we start to see begonias, dahlias, like what you see below, and gladiolas.
And thank you so much for joining us. We are getting closer to mosquito season. Tomorrow on the National Weather Desk, we'll talk with an expert about how you can avoid the itch and stay safe from the dreaded mosquito bug bite. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great Wednesday. And we're going to see you right back here tomorrow.